What is reproductive immunology? I am Dr. Mohan Raut from Dr. Raut's Center for Reproductive Immunology in Mumbai. We specialize in clinical reproductive immunology, helping couples struggling with repeated miscarriages, recurrent IVF failures, and unexplained infertility through our cutting-edge Immulit treatment. Today I am sharing the story of a couple. They did everything right. She tracked her cycles with apps. He changed his lifestyle, no smoking, less stress, even supplements also. They met top fertility specialists, took every recommended test. HSG was done, AMH, semen analysis, hysteroscopy, everything, you name it and it was done. Each time they heard, everything looks good, just try again. So they tried and tried. Ovulation kits, follicle scans, IUI after IUI, and still nothing. Then came IVF. The first cycle failed. The second, it worked. 2 pink lines, a flicker of heartbeat on the screen, and then silence. The heartbeat was gone. Their world shattered. They cried in silence, showed up to work like everything was fine. Friends asked, "When are you giving the good news?" They smiled, said, "Someday." But inside they were broken. Maybe you have been there too, waiting for the second line on a test, for the phone call from the clinic, for someone to say, "This time it worked." And yet every time all reports are normal. Doctors say, "Maybe it's just bad luck. Try again." But something doesn't feel right, does it? Because how can everything be normal and still nothing works? Let me ask you, what if the real issue isn't in your egg or in his sperms or even in your uterus? What if the real reason no one is looking at and it is in your immune system? What if your own body, meant to protect you, is quietly, unknowingly rejecting the very life you are trying to create? It sounds unbelievable, but it is real. And for so many couples, it is the missing piece. Now I'll explain how your immune system could be standing in the way of your pregnancy and how understanding it could change everything. So what exactly is reproductive immunology? Reproductive immunology is a branch of medicine that very few people, even doctors, talk about. But it could be the key that explains why pregnancies fail, even when everything else looks perfect. Let's break it down simply. We all know about immune system. It is our body's security guard, you can say, defending us against viruses, bacteria, and anything it sees as a threat. But here is where it gets tricky and beautiful. When a woman gets pregnant, the embryo that implants in her uterus carries DNA from both her and her partner. That means, from an immune system perspective, the embryo is half foreign. Now, in most women, something magical happens. The immune system recognizes the embryo, and instead of attacking the embryo, it adjusts with it. It softens, it protects the pregnancy. It tolerates this foreign presence because it understands this is not a threat, this is a new life. But in some women, and we know now it's more common than we thought, this adjustment doesn't happen. The immune system overreacts. It sees the embryo as an invader. It activates cells like natural killer cells, T cells, and inflammatory cytokines and begins a silent attack. It is not violent. There is no bleeding, no cramping, just a sudden failed IVF or an early miscarriage, sometimes before a heartbeat is ever seen. And the worst part? You are told it just happens sometimes. or it is unexplained, or that your embryo quality wasn't good enough. But what if the embryos were healthy and it was your immune system that did not allow them to stay? Think of it like gardening. You have got a strong, healthy seed, your embryo. But if the soil, your uterus, is rejecting it, no amount of watering will help. You have to prepare the soil first. Make it receptive. That's exactly what we do with immune therapy. So if your journey has been full of failed transfers, early miscarriages, or even unexplained infertility, reproductive immunology may hold the missing piece in that case. I'll tell you a little more about a short story of a couple who walked this path and how understanding their immune system changed everything. Let me tell you this story that will give really goosebumps to you. They were married for 16 years. She was only 20 when they tied the knot, full of dreams, laughter, hope of a home filled with children. But life had other plans. They tried 10 IUIs and each time they failed. The injections, scans, schedules, prayers, nothing worked. Everyone ended in a heartbreak, and then came 2 IVF cycles, huge emotional and financial investment. But when they finally saw those 2 pink lines, they thought, this is it. But both the times, just weeks later, the pregnancies ended in miscarriage. They were shattered, not just emotionally, but spiritually. They had reached a point where even hope felt heavy, and when they came to us at Dr. Raut's Center for Reproductive Immunology, we ran a detailed panel of immunological tests. And what we found surprised them and even surprised us. Her immune system was attacking the embryo right from the moment of implantation, her body sending cells to clear out what is wrongly seen as a threat. No matter how good the embryo was, no matter how skilled the lab, she never really had a chance. We created a personalized immunological treatment plan using our signature protocol treatment, that is Immulid, a type of lymphocyte immunization therapy, along with certain immunomodulatory medications and immunomodulators, and with careful monitoring. And in just a few months later, she conceived. But more importantly, this time she stayed pregnant, and today she holds a healthy baby girl in her arms. But that's not a single story. It's one of the hundreds who have been successful. Let me tell you about another woman, Radhika. She was 33. She had gone through 3 failed IVF cycles at a top fertility clinic. Her AMH was normal. Her embryos were beautiful, graded AA. Every doctor said the same thing, just try again. You are still young, you will still succeed. But she had a feeling something deeper was wrong. When she came to us, we ran immune testing. We treated her with Immulid treatment and medications and immunomodulatory protocols. And we also guided her through emotional healing and stress regulation. And guess what? She conceived naturally after IVF failures. No IVF needed. That is what happens when science meets compassion. This is the power of reproductive immunology treatment. It doesn't replace IVF. It complements IVF. It fixes the missing link no one thought to check. So, if you have repeated failures, repeated miscarriages, or have heard the word unexplained too many times, please know it is not the end of the road. There could be a reason. There could be a treatment. There could be hope. If you are watching this and you have been through months after months of heartbreak, if you have done everything the doctor has said, tried IVF, taken medicines, change your lifestyle and still no baby, then let me say this clearly from the heart. It's not your fault and you are not alone. I know how lonely it can feel, especially when every test says normal. But nothing about what you are going through feels normal. You start to question everything. Is it me? Am I too late? Will this ever happen for us? That doubt, that quiet pain, it is a heavy burden and still you carry it with courage. I see you. Here is what I want you to know. Reproductive immunology may not be the first thing your doctor look at, but it could be the most important thing they have missed, because sometimes it is not your eggs, not the sperms, not the uterus, but it is the immune system misfiring silently without symptoms. And then we finally understand that everything can change. We have seen it again and again. Couples who had nearly given up, now holding their babies, smiling through tears of joy. That could be yours also. At Dr. Raut's Center for Reproductive Immunology, we are not here to replace your gynecologist or IVF clinic. We are here to complete the puzzle, to bring clarity where confusion has lived for too long, and most of all, we are here to bring hope backed by science. So if something inside you is saying, this makes sense, could be me, listen to that voice. It might be the beginning of your new chapter. Visit us at www.icprm.in or call us on our contact number, write to us, or just start asking, could this be me? And if this video touched you, please share it, because somewhere out there another couple is still searching and maybe you become their turning point. Every struggle has a sunrise. Every prayer has a reply. Every heart deserves a homecoming. Thank you for watching. We are here when you are ready. You can contact us on 9833 201522.